Well, good afternoon and live from Texas, this is the Will Cain Show. Queens, New York, Forest Hills Stadium. Capacity 14,000 people. Center stage, Zohran Mamdani. Something is happening in New York. Something is happening in America. It might be honest, but it's honestly the rise of socialism. And it has left many in what was previously known as the Democrat Party confused about its future. Left in the wake are Hillary Clinton corporate Democrats still scrambling to define the left. But that left has long left men like Andrew Cuomo.
Do you even consider yourself a Democrat anymore?
I am a Democrat. I don't consider them Democrats. Zohran Mamdani is a socialist.
It's true, Andrew Cuomo, it's true. Zohran Mamdani is a socialist, but so too now is the left. We can and we should point out exactly what's happening in New York and what may soon be happening across America, but we cannot deny reality. And what you're seeing on your screen is pure enthusiasm in the city of New York for a socialist, for messages like this from Mamdani.
Let our words ring out so loud tonight that Andrew Cuomo can hear them in his $8,000 a month apartment. Let them ring so loud that his puppet master in the White House hears us. New York is not for sale.
Chuck Schumer is of the past. That no longer exists, the party of Hillary Clinton. That no longer is Democrats. The future of that party is one that is honest. When Zohran Mamdani tells you he's a Democrat socialist, and it should be heard when other Democrats echo that message, like AOC and Bernie Sanders.
Right now, our city and our state and our country are under attack by Donald Trump and the Republicans in Washington.
Is it possible? Is it possible for ordinary people, for working class people, to come together and defeat those oligarchs?
So we should no longer deny reality. Socialism is the brand of Democrats, and we should take them up on their authenticity and honesty and explain as well, what does that mean to be socialist? Let's go over to the wall, because it's not the first time we've seen the rise of socialism across the global stage. It's most notable in Europe. And you can see its inspiration in today's modern Democrat Party, in parties like the French Socialist Party. What does the French Socialist Party stand for? See if this sounds familiar. They're for progressive taxation, higher minimum wage. They are for a commitment to universal health care, public education, and pension guarantees. And almost all of this often comes through the Trojan horse of the green economy. That's just France. If you move to Germany, the Die Linke Party, also for economic justice, wealth taxes, limits on executive pay. How about housing? One of the things that has given rise to Mamdani is talking of rent caps, mass social housing. This type of honesty has its inspiration, and we see this inspiration in the political socialist parties of Europe. Socialists and Democrats always praise the Scandinavian countries, like Sweden, where they're inspired by the Swedish Social Democrat Party. Universal health care, free education, parental leave, and unemployment insurance, gender equality, LGBTQ+ rights, and inclusive immigration policies. This is what's already happened for decades in Europe. It seems inevitable that at some point the mask would drop and the adoption of socialism by Democrats would happen here at home in America. And that's exactly what is now happening. Mamdani, AOC, and Bernie Sanders are pushing us toward European socialism.
Was built by the Irish escaping famine, Italians fleeing fascism, Jews escaping Holocaust, Black Americans fleeing slavery and Jim Crow, Latinos seeking a better life, Native people standing for themselves, Asian Americans coming together in Queens, in Brooklyn, in the Bronx, in Manhattan, in Staten Island, in this country.
Rah! That type of roar once killed the political ambitions of Howard Dean.
We're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. And we're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
Now, it's easy to laugh all of this off, to mock it and dismiss, but you can't. You cannot deny reality. You can't deny a stadium of 14,000 people rallying around socialism in the United States of America. You have to ask why. Because years of plastic, corporate, fake Democrats driven by nothing but anti-Trumpism are now being offered a vision. It might be a vision that is inherently un-American, but it is a vision. And their only real alternative is this guy, Gavin Newsom, the ultimate plastic, fake, leftward politician. Everything is too cool for you, like that moment outside the White House, or when he plays basketball in China, crosses between his legs, attempts to shake a young Chinese boy, but shakes himself to the ground. You see, Gavin Newsom will do anything and say anything for power, including painting on the All In podcast or the All the Smoke podcast a false picture of his rough and tumble childhood.
It was also about paying the bills, man. And it was just like hustling. And so I was out there kind of raising myself, turning on the TV, started, just getting obsessed, sitting there with the Wonder Bread and 5 stacks of,
it's like the White Stack 5 story.
Come on. Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Yeah,
Grew up, bro.
Are you talking about me?
Young YG.
YG,
but
man.
Every day in the backyard, just bouncing the basketball, throwing the ball against the wall until the ball is just like fraying, man.
Gavin Newsom, just like Steven Jackson, Wonder Bread and mac and cheese, only made it out of the hood by bouncing that ball. That's the story of Gavin Newsom and his plaid scarf. Just hustling, baby. No mention of his father, William, who was an attorney for the Getty billion-dollar fortune. According to Forbes, Newsom was groomed for such success. His father, William, was a college friend of future Governor Jerry Brown, who appointed William to 2 judgeships. William Newsom was also employed by Getty as the administrator of the Getty Trusts. And when young Gavin really got it out of the Wonder Bread and mac and cheese days simply by throwing a ball, he managed to open a wine store with his other rich buddies in scarves in San Francisco. So you have that option as Democrats. All that plastic, slimy, used cars salesmanship, inauthenticity, or you get honesty from the socialist Mamdani, the man with a vision. Now, don't make any mistake about this. That vision, I'm sure, attractive because at least it offers something besides fake anti-Trumpism. But it's still scary, the Mamdani vision.
I want to use this moment to speak to the Muslims of New York City. I want to speak to the memory of my aunt, who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
The real victim, not the 3,000 people that lost their lives at the World Trade Center. The real victim is aunt, who could no longer take the subway. And here's what he thinks of America.
We will answer a question that our nation has wrestled with from the dawn of our founding. Who is allowed to be free? There are some who hear that question and they know the answer without hesitation. They are the oligarchs who have accumulated vast wealth off those who labor. These are the robber barons of America. And they believe their money affords them a larger say than the rest of us.
Now, Mamdani is real, but that doesn't mean he's not a hypocrite, because those same wealthy robber barons are responsible for funding his engineered rise. A Fox Digital investigation reveals, quote, a database of 110 groups backing Mamdani exposes a tight inner circle of organizations that identify as Muslim or socialist. They're working hand in glove with 76 Democrat Party affiliates, allied groups, and unions. In total, billionaire George Soros' Open Society philanthropies have given 2 big networks in the Democratic political machine nearly $2.5 million in recent years, according to tax filings. So that message, now well-funded, is resonating with young people who are filling a stadium in Queens to listen to a man who was inspired by his professor father.
Abraham Lincoln generalized the solution of reservations. They herded American Indians into separate territories. For the Nazis, this was the inspiration. Hitler realized two things. One, that genocide was doable. It is possible to do genocide. That's what Hitler realized. Second thing Hitler realized is that you don't have to have a common citizenship. The US put Indians in reservations. The US invented the model.
The U.S. granted the model for the rise of Hitler, says the man who raised the man who now looks to and likely will lead the biggest city in America.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.